Is that what that says? Need my, you want your glasses? Almost need them.
No, I just gotta give her the color of the box again.
Well, my husband retired 2 years ago, and at first it was really hard, and now he's gone. Yeah, he has gone finally into the flow. I don't hear as much complain about not anything to do. Okay. Every once in a while, I still tell him to go out and try to find a part-time job.
Are we ready? We're sit up there. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morning all.
Morning.
Call the meeting to order and approve the agenda as printed.
I make a motion to approve it with no corrections on it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as printed. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Hi.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes from December 5th.
I read through them. They're good. I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the minutes from the 5th of December. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Minutes are approved.
They were approved by Nancy too. Make sure you put that in the minutes.
All right. Before we get off track,
Okay.
the claims were here. Did anybody get through them?
I got $230,470.41. 230,470.41. Drainage is $132,662.95. 132,662.95.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the claims at the said numbers. Any discussion? All in favor of those two numbers, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, general public concerns. This is,
Yeah, I'll speak. Hey, Jared Lanham, 2045 260th Street. So that's going to be just east of Highway 169. 260th does not go through there. To go to the west, it takes you back to Sheldon Road. To the west, excuse me, to the east, to the west, keeps on going to county at night. Here today, I live just off of Kansas Avenue, and that's between the Chandler Blacktop and the C49 or the Pioneer Blacktop. And between my brother and I, last couple of years, I've had to call in sometimes, I don't know, once or twice a year. Of course, we don't track or whatever, but the road doesn't get cleared. We have 11 houses out there, lots of traffic. You know, as of right now, it's what, 72 hours or between 60 and 72 hours after the snow, and then cleared. You know, it's going to be ice, more snow tomorrow. Just wondering if we can change some policies to get that done. The maintenance shed have always been super responsive when I called them, but it's always after the fact. You know, they'll spend, maybe they weren't out there yet this morning when I left, but you know, they'll spend all day out there trying to scrape it down. I just think there's a better use of their time if they'd spend, you know, a half hour at the beginning front side versus, you know, trying to do it right now. Doing a quick drive around the county, there was, I don't know, or at least out in our area there's 6 to 8 miles, I'll say, that got double plowed that nobody lives on, no livestock buildings. And again, those can be like, I guess in my mind should be a lower priority. You know, it's like come back today and do a cleanup on those, I guess. So like I said, it's not the first time. I believe in GM command, just called the office there. Something's not getting done and would like some help from the supervisors.
What road again is that? I'm sorry.
Kansas Avenue,
Kansas.
2 miles that go nowhere. You know, stops are only half-mile highway, so yeah, it's not, you know, it's not a lot of, you know, there's no through traffic, but if people live there, you know, they have to go one way or the other to, you know, go somewhere, I guess.
well, like I told you earlier, we've had a turnover in here, and evidently there is a difference in whether someone else is doing that area. I'm not making an excuse. It's frustrating. been sitting right behind you, and I'm guaranteeing you it'll be taken care of. I apologize.
You're right, it was not run, as was most of Beaver Township not run. I don't know what's going on with my particular blade operator for that territory. I pulled everybody else that runs a blade onto gravel roads Friday morning. About 9 o'clock. There was some roads that were, just plain miss. We are 2 employees short right now. So we're pulling guys out of trucks, putting them in blades, trying to cover routes that were missing, and just pulled it up on our GPS, and that 2 mile stretch of Kansas was missed. So, yeah,
It's gonna make it damn difficult if you guys are gonna grab whole corn this week.
we got everybody out running gravels right now with scare fires, trying to rough up and scratch up the roads.
Well, on that gravel road or gravel with what we had over the Thursday, Friday, and you can almost ice skate on most of it. It's just, they got cold enough that it just froze it solid, so.
Yeah, like this on Saturday.
Yes,
Nice quays on top.
and supposedly more on the way. I,
And I'm not gonna make excuses, but when you have that little bit of snow on a gravel, you can't put the blade down
Oh, yeah,
while you're rocking
yeah.
the ditch. It's just a bad
It
situation.
is,
but
yeah.
I'm sure Ben will make sure that gets done next time.
again, we apologize. Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Yep.
And then we'll find out, and we appreciate you coming in. Be careful.
Thanks, Jared.
Anybody else? We aren't gonna listen to how the Lions did. I already heard, so. All right, Ben.
Get right up there by that owl so we can take a hard look at you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's gonna get a close up.
You look good.
Good thing I shaved.
You're ready for
I'm
your.
gonna say, did you join the Marine Corps or something here?
It's the only way I can keep the gray hair white.
Good thinking, Ben.
I tried that a long time ago and it doesn't work, so I just gave in.
A few things on the agenda for you today. The first item that I've got is to approve the final voucher number 3 for project LC 301790. This is the box culvert that we put at the intersection of 120th and Colorado Avenue. This is paying the final retainage as well as the safety grate that they installed.
And they did get it installed.
Mhm.
So everything's done.
Yes, it looks really nice.
Awesome. You want to do these separately, I take it?
Yeah, it's 3 separate
Well,
items.
if everything is good on that one, sounds like it is, I'd make a motion that we approve the final voucher number 3 to Whiteman Incorporated for said project in the amount of $6,355.60.
You have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The second item that I've got on the agenda is to approve contracts and bonds for project BROS-swap CO 46 parent 82 to Dixon Construction for $764,936. This is the Lone Tree Bridge. We awarded the project, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Now we'd be approving contracts and bonds.
Gotcha. I'll make that motion.
Second. We have a motion and a second, and I guess once again, we would tell you that was a state job.
State money
State
for that
money.
one.
They did the
They did the bid letting.
Mhm.
If I remember right, we had,
county, so,
we had three bidders for that project, if I remember
and these guys are, was it over east or west?
right. Southwest of us.
Let's say over on the hill before you go up towards Sioux City.
Yeah,
I don't
further
make
south and west of Denison even.
I got a question for you. Did it come in or under estimates or?
It was just over, my estimate was 725,000. It came in at 760 power, almost 765.
I don't do that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract and bond for Dixon Construction. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carried. And that is a
That'll be
start date of,
they're allowed winter work. Until we have contract signed, I haven't been able to actually talk to the contractor to find out when they're looking at coming in. But once the ink's dry, basically they can move in and start removing the old arch, which, like I talked to Rick and Bruce this weekend, we had a UPS truck, a FedEx truck, and a tow truck all stuck in the bottom of that hill
At the same time.
at the same time.
It's at the same. time.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought when you said it was like different.
No, it's the same time. That's what really made it interesting.
Yeah,
I think one went in following the other one, and then they
No,
called the
that
tow
was-
truck.
and then the tow truck got stuck and, yeah. By the time I got up there, they had all gotten out. So I headed up north to check on them and passed them all.
There's a lot of phone calls going around. I'm trying to get it taken care of.
Yeah. So. The third item that I've got on the agenda is to approve contracts and bonds for project BROS-CO 46 parent 83 to Peterson Construction for $205,316. This is the bridge up by Buffalo Olson's northwest of Bode.
That isn't going to be replaced with a box culvert, is it not?
Yes,
We went through that and that, this is just a
this
formality.
was also let through the DOT.
Yep.
The funding will all come from DOT funds for the project. And this one came in under estimate, so
Good.
I think we were at 260,000, it came in at 205, so hopefully box culvert prices are coming down, is what that means.
And this is
I just heard concrete's going up another 10%.
Hopefully something's coming down.
This is Rhinebeck Peterson,
Yes,
and it was Correctionville, wasn't it?
the other one was Correctionville, yeah.
I knew it'd come to me. It takes a while.
I'll make a motion to approve the award the contracts.
I'll second Rick's.
We have a motion and a second to award the contract for the box culvert of the Buffalo Olson Bridge there for Peterson Construction for $205,316. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And then the last item that I've got on the agenda is to accept the hiring of secondary road employees in both the Humboldt and the Bode shop locations. I'd ask the radio, I know I talked to Matt, to keep it off the noon news to give the guys time to notify their employers. But we did go through the interview and offer pending DOT drug screening and physical to hire J.R. Schnetzer to the Humboldt shop and Rob McLeland to the Bode shop locations. We interviewed half of the applicants that applied for the position. It's really tough, I guess. There's very qualified individuals, so.
So the other kid is he from up in that area somewhere?
Hawks Hill,
I'm guessing.
That sounds, name sounds.
Rob McLeland,
Okay,
McLeland.
Okay. Sorry.
He lives, no, you're fine. He lives on the blacktop just south of Livermore by I think it's the old Hawk place.
Oh, okay.
so I know JR, and I know we can't discuss their age, but they're relatively middle of the road.
I would guess JR to be around 50 And Rob is probably 30, if I'm guessing age.
Bruce,
So we don't have to do
they're,
this.
they're not as old as you.
No, I know, but when you get a younger kid, you hope that we can
Keep them.
keep them and, you know, we aren't doing this in 4 years like sometimes we seem to be doing it all the time.
Yeah.
But
And then you said you had all good qualified applicants.
We did.
Good folks to pick from.
We did.
That's great.
At some point, I feel like that's gonna change and we maybe need to update our policy. Similar to what Midas has down in Fort Dodge, where we list the CDL as preferred but not required, and then we develop a county policy to send them to CDL training in the event that we start getting applicants
You don't have.
that don't have a CDL.
that's
Just as
what
a-
we left.
Yeah.
Point of reference, did these few people that were hired have a CDL?
Yes. There was, I think 3 out of the 13 did not. So,
I know we talked about that, and I guess you could look into the policy change then if you wanted to.
You know, when we go back to the old days, when people used to help out on a farm and you'd had a CDL and you
Mhm.
drove a little bit of truck and it's always isn't it?
it used to,
Damn tough to find people that when you get pulled over, you better have all the paperwork because otherwise somebody's gonna be upset when they have to come get their truck. So,
it used to be a lot easier for guys to be able to obtain a CDL as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
I know
Yeah.
Gary Nave used to run a course
he did.
here in town.
For years.
Mason City had one, Ankeny had one where basically you could show up that day. Pay a couple $100 and they would more or less guarantee your certification when you left. Now it's a month-long course and it's $5,000 to $6,000.
That brings me to that, you're talking about teaming up with Midas to do that. Is that something the county would pay for after they hired them, or would that the individual have to pay
So,
for? Or-
The way Midas has done it in the past is, the person gets their, CDL and training, they go in, they take their written test. Then they start working with Midas where they're basically operating their bus while a licensed CDL operator is more or less student driver training.
Okay.
And then they go in for a week-long course through Iowa Central and it's $1,200 for the week-long expedited course to get their CDL. The way Midas does it is they make them sign I think it's a 6-month contract that they pay for the course and the employee signs on that they're going to stay with the company for 6 months. Otherwise, they reimburse the cost of the course.
I think they got one right now, it's reimbursing them,
Yeah, because they had one guy that 2 months after he got it, took off
Hired
and
away.
like
Yeah.
the trucking.
He went
That's
to-
what I,
yeah,
that's,
he
that's
went to
what I
Decker.
feel. You're training people for someone else.
that's
Well,
the
and-
biggest thing.
That's the way things
So
have
the-
been going for a very long time. I mean, when I was doing HR, you. Depending upon what your policies are and what it's a revolving door. You get somebody in, you get them trained up and they go somewhere that pays more money.
Gold Eagle is
now we
starting
gotta-
Yep.
to do this as well, where
Yeah.
they're training the guys, but then they're making them sign up for
So,
so long.
Mhm.
But if you're concerned about the money, Ben just said if they leave, they have to be reimbursed.
yeah, that's what I wanted to check. See if that-
Right, and so then they Midas sent us a copy of their tuition repayment agreement that they've done, so.
Mhm.
The only other thing I would throw into that is if we did that. As long as we were hiring them in the summer so that their seat time.
I'd love to be able to hire them in. the
No, I know,
summer,
but
but it seems like my guys always want
to
to.
quit.
They always want to retire right before winter.
Because
I wonder why.
yeah, vacation build up and then they all don't want to sit in there in the snow and ice, so.
Yeah.
But really don't want to send somebody out in a $300,000 dump truck that we can't seem to find.
Yeah.
To be a test pilot and call and say, hey, that dump truck is on its side, so,
Or a $400,000 motor patrol.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully everything goes good in their checks come back and we have. possibly 2 new employees. Do we have to?
Okay, I'll make a motion to
Better.
accept the hiring of the secondary roads, J.R. Snitzer and Rob McLeland.
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 Second
Okay.
Sandy's motion for those gentlemen.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the. Accepting of the new hires for the boat and Humboldt shop. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Unless you got anything else, I guess they.
No, we've gotten updated call sheets, down to law enforcement center. They did not get a copy over at, dispatch, which is why everything happened on Saturday. Dave's taken a half dozen copies down to them as we speak, so they'll have more available.
All right. Well, it worked.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, we have a family CFR, family, community family resources financial report for the 22 year. And we would accept and place on file with us that we got it.
You have it
It's here.
Good, 'cause you
It's
go-
good reading.
diligently to those meetings. I make a motion that we do it.
Short meetings that you go.
Yes. Thank you for Bruce for serving on that
Yeah.
board, and I did say make a motion to accept the Community and Family Resources financial report for the fiscal year of 2022.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second for the acceptance of that. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, just covered. Just so you know, this will be the last year that it's only community family resource. Then next year it'll be Prelude, which is in Des Moines and Iowa City. So it'll all be combined.
Also, they're going with their name and not the.
No, it's gonna be community family resources, but we're gonna be north. Fort Dodge will
Gotcha,
be the
so it'll be
north.
slash.
Yeah,
Okay, slash.
but instead of just one, they'll all 3 audits will be coming together as,
Gotcha.
so I told Michelle, I said, are we gonna have like a brunch / lunch / supper for that day, because you just kind of grin. Do you want to do the committee reports, or do you want to take the, what would you guys like to do? You want to go into
No, the committee reports, just.
quickly do our committee reports?
Yeah, I'm gonna be brief.
I'm gonna be brief.
Brief.
I'm gonna be brief.
Yes, it's hinging on your briefness.
I know it.
Nancy.
You guys are awful.
That's why we're here.
I know. Okay, on Wednesday, the 7th, I had an IWD Zoom or in the process of hiring our executive director. So we're going through the job description. And then on Wednesday, Dave and I came in to look over the janitor apps. Applications.
Back
Same
to your
here.
Zoom was, do you have a lot of qualified applicants?
We just
We're just starting.
We're
okay.
just starting. We approved the, but it's good to note that all the other regions that have had to do that, they've had several.
Good.
So we're hoping, we're crossing our fingers. We're one of the last ones that have to hire another.
Good.
So, yeah, so I'm hoping. Oh, it was canceled. District 2. I had that on here. I should take it off. It was canceled. District 2 because of weather, they canceled it.
Oh, in Charles City.
Yep, up in Charles City. Okay, that's it.
I didn't put it
That's
in my book after I got the cancellation.
Sandy and I met up here, like I said, for courthouse custodian. In the afternoon, I went to Midas meeting in Fort Dodge on Wednesday. That's all I had for the week, official.
All right. Officially on Tuesday, the 6th, that morning, we had a Public Safety Commission board meeting, the EOC. On Thursday afternoon, the 8th, the Emergency Management Association and 911 Service Board Executive Committees met to go through initial start on those 2 budgets. was a very good work session. That was Thursday afternoon for both those executive committees. And then Friday morning, it was a Zoom meeting for the second judicial district meeting. But it was held and it was via Zoom. And that's what I had last week.
Okay, Tuesday morning, I had the public safety meeting also, and then Thursday morning, I had the County Economic Development Association. That's probably spent 20 minutes explaining the damn situation to them.
Could you explain it to us?
In two.
Breeze, don't even start.
Probably won't be public.
I had no official meetings last week. I would remind people that tomorrow from 11 to 1 is the pork loin
Oh, thank you, yeah. I forgot.
at the bowling alley for Iowa Select.
Yep.
I think it was Thursday over in Clarion. They had it over there in the parking lot of the old Shopco there. And surprisingly, it wasn't, I mean, they still had stuff in the back of the truck in the afternoon later towards, and I thought, man, this thing will be like,
But it's not a regular thing, so
Right.
it's just a once a year deal.
It's been advertised quite a bit, so hopefully. I don't know.
it's the whole pork loin. I mean, it's not those little
Short.
short ones. It's
Wow.
full pork loin, so. we
Did your
thank
church,
them.
our church sent it out to everybody, did
Yep.
everybody else's church
Yep.
send it out? Okay, good.
So anyway, that's my reminder for the week. Trish, do you have anything?
No, comp board meeting today at 1:30.
In here?
It's in here.
Okay. With that, we need to go into closed session.
I'll make that motion to go into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.5 parentheses 1 parentheses C to discuss strategy with council.
With that, is there a second? We have a motion and a second to go into closed session. All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Roll call.
We got a
Oh,
roll
sorry,
call.
okay.
That's why you get to come here. so
Yes,
that
you gotta keep us all-
reminding you.
Yeah.
All right, Sandy,
Oh, I'm sorry. Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Rick,
Aye.
do I have to ask myself? Reimer's aye also.
And we have
And
the
we are
recorder
in
going.
8:57.
What?
Do we have the recorder going?
Yes. I'm touching something.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Go Lions.
Did they do good? I never watched it.
Oh my God, they won their 5th game in a row. It's like
Oh my
they're
God.
celebrating